I know some of you have some questions. Where have I been? How are you alive? Allow me to explain. After months of soul searching, I noticed that trying to appeal to a group of people that are complete hypocrites is not worth it. I want to find a better audience, one that isn't consistent of horrible memes and just bad jokes. I noticed that within the skeptic community. The people there do not seem to understand that I speak for myself and only myself, and yes, people must come to defend themselves, because if I make a fool of myself, then I'm making a fool out of them. This comes to show that they don't really care about my content unless the content itself is bad. I'm done trying to appeal to those people. It's better if I just seek out a new audience and remove myself from the toxicity known as the skeptic community. That means you should never associate with me with the following YouTubers: Baron, Shoe on Head, Sargon Ricard, Armored Skeptic, and many more. I am my own individual person, and that's it. If I happen to be in someone else's channel or happen to work with someone, it doesn't mean that I associate with whatever group they happen to be in. This especially includes the skeptic community. Also, I'm a scriptwriter for one of the episodes of Libertoons. It was nice working with Dapperton, and I'm looking forward to making more scripts and animation. That being said, let's get on with the video.
Right, so this is Bozo, Daddy Bonglegs, War-Torn Herzegovina, Frenulum, Dingus, Snatch Squatch, Mr. Jumble Pockets, Marilyn Danson, Boutros Gali, Hawaiian Pack, Snipper, Clipper, The Rizzer, Ugly Jim, Good Profile Jim. Guys, this is Cassie. He's a comedian.
Oh, it's not he. I'm a woman.
Alright, we have a bunch of weirdos in a bar, and this man right here that claims to be a woman clearly is not even trying to look like a woman. No one is getting fooled here.
Could you please use she and her?
Well, how the fuck am I supposed to remember that?
This is stupid. It's common logic that people use she and her all the time. It's as common as water on this godforsaken planet. Now, if someone wants to come up with some new gender pronouns, then things will be different. Not only will I forget these pronouns, but chances are I will never bother to learn them because it's unnecessary and only exists to stroke your ego.
Pronouns. Why are they important? Why should you care? Let's find out.
See that pun there? You think you could trans? Oh my god.
This is the theater where I publicly came out in a live performance to over 100 people.
My name is Cassie, and it is so good to finally meet you.
It was one of the happiest moments of my life. But after I came out, there were people who still refused to acknowledge my gender and continued to call me he because they thought that males have XY chromosomes and females have XX chromosomes, and for some reason it was their job to defend that idea.
That's because it's mostly true for most cases. The most common and default setting for the mass majority. It's like being born with 5 fingers on each hand or being born with 2 legs. Sure, some people are born with deformities, but that's the exception. I'll get back to this later to explain more.
Look, I've taken that argument and put it in an antique shop, because that's what you do with things that are obsolete.
It's not obsolete, it's common logic. Common logic that you reject!
And besides, that's not true. There are people with XY chromosomes that are androgen insensitive and appear female. There are people who have intersex conditions. And there are people with XXY chromosomes that present as men.
Look, mate, this is all bullshit.
I agree. Remember when I said it's common logic to be born with 5 fingers or 2 legs? The same applies here. Just because some men out there are more feminine looking due to hormonal balances doesn't mean that it's the norm. The exception does not make the rule. These people make up less than 0.1% of the population. Birth defects is not your gender. Unless you go through the proper treatment of transitioning, your biological sex is your gender.
I know what a woman is, and you're not one. You can't call a cat a dog and make it a dog. It's biology.
No, that's semantic.
Clearly you don't know what that means.
Let me use my half a philosophy degree to pose you a moral question. Trans powers activate.
Bloody hell, where are we?
This is my friend Shellys House. Hey, Shelly.
Hey, Cass.
Let me guess. She's trans too.
No, she's adopted. Shortly after she was born, Shelley's birth mother died, and she was adopted by this woman, Lorraine. Lorraine cared for her and looked after her and made sure that she was safe and held her when she cried and took her to school every day.
How beautiful. What a great mum.
Yeah. Shame you'll have to tell them that their relationship isn't real and they're not actually a family and Shelley isn't her daughter.
That is bullshit. First of all, this is a false comparison to begin with. One is the idea that a family not being biological and the other is half-assing a transitioning from male to female. Second, the mother and eventually the daughter will have to cope with the fact that they're a family not based on blood, but rather a relationship. One does not have to be related in order to be part of a family. For example, your mother and father-in-law are not related to you, but you're part of their family. As long as you have some form of relationship that could be considered to be acceptable to be a family, there is no quarrels. Now, yes, one does not need to be born female in order to be considered to be female. However, this is a major spit in the face to people who are transitioning. If you are trans, you have to go to the right places and take the drugs given to you in order to even have a chance to look like a woman. The only reason that you would do so poorly to look like a woman is either A, you started a transition which would explain everything, or B, you are in a financial rut that prevents you from getting the medication needed to transition and thus making you more focused on owning a home and feeding yourself, as transitioning should not be a #1 priority. Clearly you don't have an excuse to look the way you do. And don't tell me gender is a social construct. That argument is flawed. Either transition completely or be called out on your bullshit.
What the fuck are you on about? They are absolutely a family. Lorraine is her mum.
Not biologically though, is she?
Okay, you're right. On most occasions, biology doesn't matter.
That depends on what you mean by most occasions in your context.
But I still think it's wrong to change your body by taking a pill. It's unnatural.
Do you have kids?
Yeah.
Did you vaccinate them?
Again, not the same thing. One's a physical transformation, the other is preventing diseases. One is mandatory to use in order to achieve the body that you want. The other is an option to be given to you.
Look, I just don't like trans people.
I know. You've been saying that this whole time.
I have no problem with people who are transitioning if they're legitimate about it. My problem is with people who don't bother taking it seriously. It looks like you spent more money on your clothing than you do with your drugs.
And here's where we get down to the nitty-gritty. I mean, the underlying issue here is not really about semantics or biology. It's about recognizing the dignity of another human being.
How can I recognize the dignity of someone who, when I have to come to the conclusion that you have no dignity in the first place? I have met transgenders who have more dignity and respect than you. They understand that they can't be a real woman or a man if they don't put the effort into it. I respect them for that. These transgenders are not on stage making excuses for their bodies. They're out there trying to live, and you're just making things worse.
I mean, we make all kinds of concessions just out of politeness and respect all the time. I mean, I've seen people refer to their boats as women and then refuse to call me a woman. Are you fucking serious?
That's because they own that property. For fuck's sake, it's an inanimate object. You don't ask a boat a pronoun. Are you expecting some form of dialogue with a boat? Do you speak boat somehow?
But even if you ignore the medical community, there's still no reason to misgender someone.
This entire video already shows a lot of reasons to misgender you.
Unless it's an accident. Like sometimes the waiter will bring my food and they'll be like, enjoy your meal. And I'll be like, you too. And then I'll file that in my scrapbook of dumb shit that I've said and look at it every night before I go to sleep. We all make mistakes. But if it's someone's crusade to deliberately misgender somebody out of some sense of keeping it real...
It's not a sense to keep it real. It's just common logic.
They're not. In fact, the only reason that you would deliberately misgender somebody is because you're an asshole.
Well, I am an asshole, but not because I misgender people like you. I'm a man that prefers reality over feelings. Truth is, I don't see you as a woman who's trying to live life normally, but rather a cross-dresser trying to be part of the cool kids and go against the government by acting like some sort of moody teenager. Again, how do I have respect for someone when you have no dignity.
I know you don't identify as an asshole. I know you don't feel like an asshole on the inside, but I'm gonna call you one anyway because I'm keeping it real.
You're a fucking moron! So you say that people who misgender you are not keeping it real, but you are for calling someone an asshole? Listen, I couldn't care less if you call me an asshole for calling you out. It doesn't matter to me. I'm the one who's providing the actual facts here, while you're just making false comparisons. If you're legit transitioning from male to female, your argument would at least be more respectable. I would have seen you as a woman, but you're not a woman. You're not even a cross-dresser. You're a man with a freaking wig.
Okay, sorry, I'll call you she and her from now on.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
I know what it's like to be misidentified. One time the cops thought I'd nicked a bike, but it was my mate. I was just holding it for him. So, solidarity.
I will end the video right here. You should know that these are the same people behind the SJW rap that people have made countless videos of. So of course the logic here is thrown out the window. I could not expect any less from these people, and chances are I will make a video in the future about these people once more. They are scum. Correction. They are lower than scum. They are what scum feed on. It's people from this company that makes people like us today. We reject these things because we don't want to be drowned into the insanity known as the supreme left wing. I am the Atheist Gamer, and keep gaming on.